And we're live.
Hey guys, welcome to TFL Live. Nathan and Andre are here. Roman is not. He's at I think he's at an event, right?
Audi event, yes.
Audi event. What a lucky guy. So we're going to go right into it because we got a lot going on, including a special guest who brought us a Kia Stinger.
Yes.
So today we've got news, which has the Hyundai Santa Fe in it, and Raj Nair from Ford. We'll tell you about him. And then we're going to go to our top 10 list shortly after that, which is foreign flops. 10 vehicles that came here from somewhere else and didn't make it. They were, well, disappointments to say the least.
Yeah, not completely, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get started right away with Andre in the news.
Yes, and as always, this is kind of our beta version of the show.
That's right.
And here's the news. So you guys did those intros while I was on vacation. So this is
what else are we gonna do?
This is very special. This is really cool.
Speaking of cool, go for it.
So first news, actually Ford released a statement yesterday afternoon that their executive Raj Nair, who used to be also a product development manager for the entire North American, or actually Ford North America, he was let go because of alleged inappropriate behavior, and that was a big news. It was kind of a surprise that just came out. So, what else is there to say about it?
Not a whole lot. Moving on. Let's talk about the Corvette.
Yes, the Corvette. So some good news. So the C7, the current generation Corvette ZR1. Remember we saw it in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
That came out. And so there's new news that the current C7, you can get some good deals on this because the ZR1 is kind of oncoming, so everybody's looking at that.
Right.
Plus the C8 mid-engine Corvette is going to be here probably within a year or two.
Allegedly.
So if you're looking for a Corvette, maybe right now is a good time to buy because you can get $2,017 off on 2017 models.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
And then also they have something called Flex Cash.
Okay.
So you can get another $8,000 off in certain markets. And so it could be a really good time to get a Corvette.
You heard it here first, folks. And if you get one of these Corvettes, don't forget to let us know so we can take it on the track with you.
Yes. Bring all your vets.
So we're kind of moving this along quickly today because we want to get to that vehicle back there. So we're going right into top 10. Before we do that...
Well, there's one more thing. I wanted to mention one more thing in the news.
Oh, go for it.
It's a Hyundai news.
Forgot about that.
Look at this. Bam.
That is good looking.
Right, the new Santa Fe. The news just came out yesterday. The new Santa Fe, sort of the pictures are out so you could see what it looks like. Big news, I think, is 2.2 liter turbo diesel.
That's correct. Now, keep in mind that they haven't mentioned anything about their V6, so it may very well be off the list.
And obviously it has the new look, and it's 8-passenger version will be coming later, they said. And no more sport. They had the shorter version.
Yeah, I don't think they were selling them in many.
But this is kind of the new styling direction. They showed a concept at CES that had similar style.
This looks like a mix of Lexus and Audi kind of mushed together. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
A little bit of that?
Like a little that the Lexus grille versus the Audi.
Spindle grille.
Yeah.
All right, should we move on to shout-outs real quick?
Yeah, let's do some shout-outs, and I'm monitoring your comments, guys, over here. So, as always, we've got a few of you joining. David, Naxon, Matt, Licio.
Hey, Matt.
Let's see, what you guys are talking about? Oh, somebody's from Poland.
Hey, how you doing?
There's Martin from Poland.
Dobra, I forgot how to say hello, but anyway. Hey.
Dobra, that means just good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Damn. Sorry.
Well, that's good. So thank you guys for joining, and keep. We'll have some questions coming up, so keep kind of interacting, giving us some feedback. This is sort of a beta version, and today's show is very special, like we said, because we have guests.
And that's why we're condensing the first component of it, so that way we have enough time to tell you about that and our guest.
Yep.
We ready for the top 10?
Let's go for the top 10, yes.
All right. These are foreign flops. Well, but first... I think that was me.
Remember that G-Wagon squared? That was
That I
that
do.
was
Well, of
incredible.
course I remember. It ran over me. Literally ran over me.
You were brave to lay down.
Well, that's why I'm losing weight right now, so I can actually fit under other vehicles to be run over. Okay, let's get to foreign flops. 10 foreign vehicles that we got which failed. Now, by saying failed, basically we're saying that they just weren't continued or they didn't sell a lot. Okay? Starting with number 10, the Subaru SVX.
I remember this car.
I loved this car, but there was a problem with it. The problem wasn't the looks, which, by the way, this was Italian styled. It wasn't the cool windows. It wasn't all the weird stuff it had inside, including a weird moleskin interior. No. The problem was you could not get, in the United States, an all-wheel drive version of this with a manual transmission. You could only get it with the auto, but there were a limited amount of these that were sold that had front-wheel drive, and yes, they did have a manual transmission. One of the issues with the vehicle was price. It was very expensive. A lot of people saw this and saw Subaru. Back then, Subaru was considered sort of a discount company. And frankly speaking, having a vehicle like this, which is incredibly sophisticated with its H6 engine, it just didn't seal the deal. But here's the cool part about it. We actually have two things. One, I've driven this. Almost every car on the list I've driven. Two, Roman's mom owned one of these.
No way.
Yes way.
But it's kind of a cool car. I love the windows.
Yeah.
It's very unique and really interesting car, but didn't sell that well.
It didn't sell that well, and that's a real shame. Let's move on to number 9, which is... we actually had the vehicle number 9, Sterling, as one of our pictures of the day. And somebody did correctly identify it. Now, what does it look like to you?
That looks like an Acura crossed with a Honda crossed with something else. What is
Pretty
it?
much is. Sterling did not do very well. This is the 825, by the way. Sterling basically did the same thing that Acura did in the United States, which is using a lot of components, all the components from Honda, to build a luxury car. And the difference here between, let's say, an Acura and this vehicle was the fact that there was some unique sheet metal, but mostly a unique interior. Sterling did very poorly here. They did not sell very many cars. Not many people wanted British cars back then, frankly speaking. So, yeah. And Lucas Electronics.
I've actually never driven this. It was a surprise to me that this car actually existed.
Yeah, I actually drove one of these shortly after it came into my family's wrecking yard, and I couldn't understand why someone got rid of it because there was nothing wrong with it. I drove it around, I was like, oh, okay, this is great. But nobody wanted it. So
Wow.
there you go.
That's unfortunate.
If you buy one of these, if you can even find one, bear in mind, it doesn't have the same electronics as other Honda products. There are a couple things that are different, so hold off on that. Now, speaking of electronics,
Number 8.
one of your favorite vehicles.
Yes, I'm a VW guy. A lot of you guys know this. The Phaeton, which came in several different versions, including W12.
Now, what is that under the skin?
Well, that's basically kind of a Bentley with a VW badge in the front.
It is underneath in terms of running gear and some internal components. Basically a Bentley. Volkswagen owns Bentley, and back then when this thing came out, it was considered by many one of the finest automobiles on the road. But not many Americans really want a car that looks like a Passat and is that expensive.
Yeah, and there is also an issue with price. It was very expensive.
Very.
Only certain dealers had it or could service it.
That's right.
And also, it's an issue with the badge too. VW has good cars for the people.
Right.
Affordable cars. This car was not that affordable. It was actually like $100,000 in some cases for certain models.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a success.
No, not so much. So let's move on. In terms of other vehicles, I actually drove the next car coming up. And
No way.
Yeah, and Roman said he might let me buy one.
Wait, is this you in this?
That's me right there. Yeah, the after's changed a little bit, but that's me right there. This is a Yugo. Now, before you guys start freaking out, you're right. It does have an Italian engine. There's a Fiat engine in there. Not a very powerful one. I drove one for a little while, for almost a week. Belonged to a girlfriend of my very, very ex-girlfriend.
This was here in the States?
This was in California.
Okay.
Yeah, that is rolling birth control, folks. Trust me on that.
Wow.
So, yeah, didn't sell a lot of them. There were quality issues. They got really good mileage. Now, here's the thing that you guys might not know. Motor Week reviewed this vehicle and actually gave it a fairly good grade. So, back then, it was actually considered a half-decent vehicle. Go figure.
We have a lot more shutouts.
All right, let's hit
Actually,
those.
people from Broomfield, which is like a few miles away.
Just down there? Yeah.
To Poland, to people from Florida. There is Patrick. So
Ooh,
thank you
Florida
guys.
would be nice right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be nice. So a lot of people joining. I'm sorry, Casper says that his father used to have a. No, that was Evan. So
Evan.
his father used to have a Phaeton.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah.
Yeah, they sold a few, but unfortunately they only sold for a limited amount of time and they just didn't catch on here. And it's a shame because underneath the skin it was an incredible vehicle.
Well, let's move on to number 6, which is a Mercure.
XR4 Ti.
Boom.
Yeah, which by the way, none of that makes any sense whatsoever. Overseas.
XR4.
Yeah, this is a Sierra. Now they also had a big brother to it. They had a 4-door which was called the Scorpio that was here. And neither of them sold very well. Front engine, rear drive, very sporty car. There are a lot of guys who actually tune these things and have them eat Mustangs for breakfast. Unfortunately, in the States, didn't sell very well.
One of my friends in high school had one.
Oh, yeah?
And it was funny because people were looking at it, the car kind of weird. They weren't sure what it is. And he used to do burnouts.
Yeah.
It was like, that's weird because it kind of looks like an economy car or kind of a sedan coupe, but it has a lot of performance.
Oh, yeah, and there was a Cosworth version of this, I believe, that really kicked
Right.
ass. But they didn't sell it here in the States because we're Americans, we don't get the good stuff. Although we did get a gold medal for women's hockey last night. Yeah!
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There you go.
Okay, I had to drop it in there. I was so excited. Let's move on to number 5, another Volkswagen.
Yeah, I'm really sad now. So thanks a lot. So,
I loved the look of
Scirocco.
yeah, this is the first for us. The first generation Scirocco, the round headlights, basically a stretched Golf is one way to look at it. I think Roman may have had one of these.
I don't know, but I love the shape. It was a simple car. And we're also going to be talking about the Corrado.
The Corrado.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I love those cars. And now, actually, they're gaining value.
Oh yeah, they're
Becau-
becoming
bec-
collectors.
Yeah, because they're rare and they're kind of cool. If you can find one in good condition like this one, it's a pretty amazing little find.
So we did get this, and then we went to the Corrado, and I believe there are 2 different versions of the Corrado that were fun. There was a small turbo 4, and then there was a V6.
VR6, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are kind of interesting cars, a lot of performance. And once again, it's hard to find one cheap right now. They're gaining value.
Yeah, quick by today's standards as well, by the way. Unfortunately, you could tell they didn't do well because Volkswagen never brought back the new Scirocco because Americans. All right, let's move on to number 4, which is the Mercedes-Benz B-Class EV. Yeah, it didn't do well. I drove one of these in California, actually. And even the Mercedes guys who were at the event, it was near the Queen Mary in Long Beach, was kind of like, well, nobody's going to want it. And this is what they were saying.
This is not a very good sales strategy.
No, it wasn't. It's the guy, I don't know, I hope he doesn't work there anymore. But the point is that this was sort of testing the waters in the States for electric before they should have actually been testing the waters in the States for electric.
And they also didn't they have a fuel cell version
Yes,
of
they
this
did have a fuel
in the
cell.
previous generation?
That is correct.
Right.
And rumor has it that they've got a whole slew of new vehicles that they're bringing to, that are electric and possibly fuel cell to the States very soon. All right, let's move on to, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the Land Rover Defender. Ugh, what a great off-roader.
Wasn't it successful? This is basically a Jeep.
No, it really isn't. It's, it couldn't comply with the safety regulations by the Department of Transportation. They were extremely expensive. Not a whole lot to go wrong in terms of electronics and whatnot, but there were some issues, and they're very expensive to service. So, bottom line, just didn't sell very well. And we're not going to ever have one of those back again, most likely. Let's move on to another British vehicle, because God forbid we only have one on here.
Lotus Elise.
The Lotus Elise, one of my favorites. I actually got put in one of these using KY jelly and shoehorns to get me in. Now, one of the major problems
Yes.
with this vehicle is the fact that it cannot comply with United States regulations for airbags and safety and what have
That's
you.
why it went away. Yeah.
Rumor has it might be back in 2020.
You know, you mentioned getting into this car. It's really difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm just over 6'2". Once I was in, it was cool.
Yeah.
But getting in and out was an issue.
Roman and I sat inside of the Tesla, which
Tesla,
was
right.
the same thing as this, the Roadster they had, and he and I literally could not drive properly because we were touching all the time. And man touching, really don't like it with Roman.
Yeah, unfortunately, this was such a cool performance car.
Oh, this thing was an amazing car to drive,
Yes.
on the track especially. Okay, let's get to one of my favorites on the list, and that is Lamborghini. That's the LM. I love that car.
002, the Rambo,
sorry, yeah, 002.
Rambo Lambo.
Rambo Lambo.
Yes.
Muammar Gaddafi had a whole bunch of these that were fitted with military components. And he was one of the biggest purveyors of these vehicles, so to speak. And obviously his reign did so well, owning Lamborghinis and whatnot.
Ouch.
I did drive one of these. It had a manual transmission. It was really fast, and it was terrifying. Terrifying. Because it's back then, way before Hummers were on the road, this thing was out there practically rubbing two sides of the street as you're trying to maneuver. It was massive and fast.
Yeah, only 300 were ever built. Right now, they're extremely expensive to
Yeah.
buy. They're very collectible. Our friend Victor, who actually lives in
Yeah,
Colorado, has one of these. It's kind of a silver metallic color. And we drove it. Roman drove it, actually.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing experience because the sound of it.
Oh, it sounds
it's got
amazing.
It's got a
Oh.
V12.
It's the same V12 that they had in the
Countach,
Countach.
yeah.
So, yes, very good stuff. All right, let's get to some more shout outs before we move on to our special guest.
Right. So we have a lot of sort of comments about the Defender, and people are kind of sad. A lot of these cars left.
Yeah, I actually am too.
Yeah. So, but thank you guys for joining. And this show is very special because, well, actually we do a different segment, usually not live,
Yep.
called Dude, I Love My Ride.
Dude, I love my ride. Now,
Yeah.
that is something we do with both trucks and cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now we have two people who love their ride.
Okay.
So why don't we just get up and Ross and Amanda are here.
Ross and Amanda, why don't you guys come on out? I'm going to hang here while you do the tour around the vehicle.
Sure.
4 is too many.
Yep.
But I will be doing commentary.
Yes. So let's reset really quick and move the microphone.
Hey, I'm going to look at your computer and give you some shout outs while you're doing it.
The comment section is over there.
Okay.
So Ross, Amanda. So this is a brand new 2018 Kia Stinger, but I really want to hear your story, you guys, because you just picked it up yesterday. Is that true? So tell me some of the history about whose car is this, by the way?
It's my car.
It's gonna be your car.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Tell me kind of the story. How'd you guys find this car?
Well, he actually was the one that found it and had me test drive it, and then we found out it was in yellow. So
Yeah, so tell me about it. I just went on the Kia website, and the yellow color is not on our website.
Yeah, it's this feels kind of full circle because her car, she was driving a Camaro that was in yellow.
Okay.
Got totaled outside of our house on the street at 4 a.m. one night.
Okay.
And they chose not to repair it. They chose to cut the check. And so we started doing our research. Well, what's the next sports car? And you went from a Cavalier to a Mustang to a
To the
Camaro,
Camaro.
all in yellow.
Okay.
And,
so there's a
yellow's
theme
her
here.
color,
There's a
right?
theme.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we just started doing our research, which is actually how we found out about TFL,
Okay.
which is pretty fun. So watched all the Stinger videos there, looking at potentially all-wheel drive performance cars, and it turned out that the yellow wasn't going to be released in the United States. So best we could figure, Mexico and Canada were getting it, and we weren't getting one. But there were rumors that a special edition would come out, and that it would be a GT, so the lowest trim and the better engine, with the limited slip differential on rear-wheel drive.
Sure.
And that would have lacked the sunroof and all that. And we were driving around talking to Kia dealers, and I just said, you know, shoot me a call if you get a yellow one. It's kind of interesting. Well, the calls started rolling in, and they're like, oh, it's a GT2 with all-wheel drive, and I'm scratching my head. I keep talking to more dealers. Well, we have a GT with rear wheel. We have a GT with all-wheel. And they all got it on allocation for winning a contest. So there's only 400 of these in the United States. And 400 dealers got one for winning the contest. And it could be a GT, a GT2, a rear wheel, or an all-wheel. And we got lucky that the one here in Colorado had the all-wheel drive GT2, and if I can give a shout out to Sean over at Medved, he was just really wonderful to work with,
Okay.
buying a car long distance.
Where are you guys from?
We're from Tennessee, so
Okay.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
So did you guys fly over here?
he drove, I flew in,
Oh,
he
okay.
met me, and we're both driving back.
Okay.
Yeah, we get to do our little
Yeah.
caravan road trip back.
How
so
many miles is that?
Oh goodness, about 1,600 I think. I've got 2,000 on the Outback right now after going up to Vail and coming down.
Okay.
So
Okay, so this is a really cool car. I mean, so it's all-wheel drive. You got a turbocharged V6. Can we like show the interior maybe and
Yeah.
pop the hood?
yeah.
Andre, while you're doing that, there's a couple quick questions.
Yeah.
Mrs. Dragon wants to know how much it cost.
Yeah. So what is the starting price on one of these
If you want
for a GT?
So yeah, they're going to be in the low 40s, I believe, or high 30s if you're dealing with just the lowest trim, highest engine.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you load it out with everything, and with all-wheel drive, it stickers for 52.3.
Okay.
So you're really up to 52.3, and we were those people considering, do we go with a BMW, an Audi, or the Stinger? Because once you hit that price point, you're really back in the same territory. But to get a similarly loaded out, you know, S4, you're back up to 70. So you are still saving, you know, 10 or 15 going with the Stinger over one of the competitors. For
Yeah,
sure.
but these are popular cars. It just came out, right? Not long ago.
It did.
I love the color combination because it kind of has the black and yellow, you know, theme to it. The interior is pretty cool. You know, Peter Schreier, the designer who used to be at Audi, is now at Kia and Hyundai, and he kind of designed a lot of these cars. So this car has a little bit of Audi inside of it, or you know, just the profile of it. I think is just kind of interesting.
Andre, people are asking horsepower numbers, and then somebody else wants to know if you cross-shopped any German vehicles with it.
Yeah, so horsepower numbers. Let's pop the hood. So it comes with two engines, right? A 2-liter turbo.
Right.
Excuse me. Yeah, let's pop the hood. But this is not a 2-liter.
Oh, we're getting a little wet.
It's okay.
Yeah,
So
no,
this-
so this is the, oh shoot, I don't have the specs on me, but.
So it's a really powerful car. It's around 350 horsepower, and when it came out first, Roman went to the event originally for this car when it launched, and the performance of it and all of the photos and videos from the track, they did it in California, this car was sideways. You know, you can get it sideways, you can drift it around, it has so much power. But I like that you actually got an all-wheel drive version.
Yeah, they say that the all-wheel drive will, for the most part, if you're in sport, send 80% to the back wheels and 20% to the front wheels, so that you're still having that kind of muscly experience. But of course, if you're in a snowy environment or a slick environment, the all-wheel is going to give you a little more control. And on y'all's previous Stinger video, Roman wants the viewer to test the 0 to 60
Right.
with the stopwatch, and I was never able to make that equal what Kia says. And we
Okay.
were gonna test drive it this morning.
Yes.
But
it snowed.
It snowed. So,
Yes.
and then when we picked it up, we found out that you're gonna get one of two tire sets with this car: either the run flat summer performance tires or the all weather. And you don't really know until you get it. And we ended up with the run flat summer. So
Okay,
probably not
so-
the best idea.
So I drove by the racetrack. We use IMI Motorsports, which is just about 10 miles away, and there's snow on the surface.
Yeah.
So first of all, there's snow on the surface. Then you have summer performance tires.
Yeah.
So none of that doesn't jive together. But I just love the car. I wish Are you driving home like soon, like
Yep.
today or tomorrow or something?
Probably Saturday.
Okay, so you're hanging out here, and so congratulations. I think I find this story kind of cool because the yellow color is unique, right?
Mhm.
You've had the yellow cars,
It's my color.
so now you have a lot more power, a lot more sort of, and also the confidence of an all-wheel drive car to some extent once you got good tires on it,
Yes.
or proper tires, for the environment, right?
Right.
So yeah, so thank you for bringing it by, and we're going to do one more segment in the show, which is a kind of a giveaway picture of the day. Any more questions?
A lot of comments in general. A lot of people were saying how much they love Tennessee. So there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Chattanooga is a beautiful place, and that's from traveling through.
Yes.
Let's see here. We have a few people. Well, one asked if we're going to take it up Goldmine Hill. No, we're not.
We're not taking it up Goldmine Hill.
Roman would never let us.
No, and I don't think Amanda would let us either.
Yeah. And someone's telling you to go buy one, Andre, which I think would be a great idea.
I think After seeing your car, I think I would like to have one too.
Oh man, and driving it, I've never driven a car where the engine settings actually make a tremendous like physical feeling amount of difference, and you go from comfort to sport in this, and everything just like explodes. The throttle response, the acceleration, all of it. It's a lot of fun.
The character changes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
In a big way.
Is that Brembo brakes?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Brembo brakes, red calipers, yellow car. If I got this car, I would get the blue, I think.
And you know, one thing that I think Kia may have missed out on is that the blue should have color matched the Brembo brakes. I think the red looks great with the white, the silver, the black, the red.
Yeah.
But on the blue, that would have been so sick if they had matched them.
So thank you so much. I cannot believe you picked the car up yesterday. You're from Tennessee. You're here now, and congratulations.
Oh.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Let's bring it all back in. Got a couple minutes to do a picture of the day. Andre, I hope you don't mind the website I'm on. It's they only asked for your ID and credit card number.
Oh my goodness! What are you showing here?
Yeah. So let's see. Let's
It's
get
a
it.
I like your jokes, by the way.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
So we always do a kind of a giveaway. We have a picture of the day, and if you can guess the picture and send us an email at info@tflcar.com, you can win one of these hats. We go to events.
Yep.
And we pick up these hats along the way. We have Mazda, Jeep, what is it?
Fiat 500, Chevrolet.
So you tell us what kind of brand you like or what kind of hat you like, and if you email us first come, first served. Mm-hmm. What is the picture of the day?
Fire it up. By the way, hi Carlos. I saw you said hello, and somebody else recommended, Andre, that you sell both your Volkswagen and your truck and buy one of those.
I'm actually gonna sell my truck. I've decided.
You should buy one of these.
What is that? Well, I can't say.
Now, guys, I actually was the one who took this picture, so I apologize for it being a little grainy. And it was 2 years ago when I went to the Pebble Beach Concourse.
Oh.
And this was actually at Laguna Seca. And it was just sitting there. And I met the guy who either worked at it or owned it. I actually don't know if he owned it. And this is a complete restoration all the way, bolts up. And it was pretty cool. So anyway, go
I
ahead.
did not expect it. When you said Pebble Beach, I did not.
Well, it's not on the concourse, it's not on the lawn.
No,
you
it's not
know.
on the lawn, but it was probably like a runabout.
Yeah, actually, it's yeah. Okay, so that is for the picture of the day. Please send your response to info@tflcar.com.
Yep.
Remember, if you answer on the page you're on right now, yeah, okay, you just told everybody else what the answer is, but we can't reward you. And by the way, unfortunately, we can only send the hats out to the United States. Can't do it overseas. Sorry.
Right. The cost is just prohibitive.
Could you tell we have a low budget?
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, Traveling Through says, Nathan and Andre, when you guys come to Chicago, let us know. You guys are great.
Thank you very much. You know, one of the things is when we go to auto shows, we're only there for press days, and as much as we would love to meet you guys, we rarely have the opportunity to do so. However, we are going to be going to Easter Jeep Safari, and maybe we'll be able to put together a meet and greet. So just a quick FYI.
Yeah, and we're going to a lot of events. Obviously, Chicago, there's this big snowstorm too. That was a whole ordeal. We actually drove a car from Chicago to Denver.
We're still recovering from that.
Yeah, overnight, 14 hours in the car.
Yeah.
All of us together. So that was tough. But somebody's asking if Andre is no longer a truck guy. That's not true.
Oh, no, are you kidding me?
That's not true. Even though I love the Stinger, I might buy one if my wife lets me. I really want a truck as well.
Of course you do.
But so I want everything.
Yes, you do. We all do.
So, and 2019 is going to be such a truck year.
Yes.
The new Ram. I was just at the Ram event. It's embargoed, but we published a video to TFL Truck.
Yep.
So go see it right now today. Live video on TFL Truck. There's going to be a new Chevy. Ford is coming out with new engines. Nissan and Toyota. Toyota might redesign the Tundra in a year. So this is going to be a big year for trucks. So,
Huge year for trucks.
If you think I'm no longer a truck guy, no. It's going to be huge.
You have a belt buckle? Fire that up, baby.
Boom.
You have to have one of those to be a truck guy. He is officially a truck guy. All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back tomorrow?
Yep.
All right. So same time, same channel. Hope to see you guys later. By the way, when this becomes a regular video, we will be looking at comments and hopefully answering a few as well. So we'll see you later, guys.
Thank you.